Hey everyone, this is Simonopolized coming back with another speed build. This time I'm building the McCallister's house from Home Alone, which suits the time because it is Christmas. Yeah. So as you can see, well, there's nothing much to see right now. But anyway, you're seeing me building the shell of the house. And just like a full disclosure, right from the start, I did cut some bits of the speed build just because it took me like a long time, and by a long time I'm meaning about like roughly about 10 hours of me building it. So I cut some bits and pieces out, yeah, and I basically sped the whole video like 16 times this time. Like I usually speed it up like about 8 times. This time it was 16, so it was double the speed. But anyway, I wanted the house to look as similar as the real house as possible, so as usually I did some like research by searching like a lot of reference pictures on like Pinterest and Google, but they weren't enough for me to figure out the layout and like I don't know the exact furniture that was used or that was in the house. So I decided to actually watch the movie, but like this time instead of just watching the movie and enjoying it, I basically like paused every time a new corner was showed in the movie and would just take a screenshot. So I took a screenshot of basically every corner that was shown of this house in the movie. And if you want like a number, they were about 123, like not about, they were exactly 123 pictures. So yeah, it was quite a lot. Yeah, that's why you're gonna see me like pausing every now and then, because it takes a lot of time for me to actually, if I'm furnishing a room, it takes a long of time for me to firstly scroll all the way down till I find the picture, like all the way through the 123 pictures, till I find the exact picture of the room that I want. Yeah, or the exact corner that I'm furnishing right now. And the other thing that made it a long process is that you basically have to do a lot of like choosing between the color or the function, and by that I mean you'll have some furniture that looks similar to the furniture in the real house, but it doesn't have the same color, so you kind of you would be stuck in the thought process of like, would you rather choose the same color or would you rather choose the same structure? Yeah. But anyway, I think it turned out great in the end. Yeah. Anyway, the shell of the house, like as you saw, I left it in, like me building the shell of the house, but I actually I cut out like me doing the rooms, because you're gonna see me going through every single room, like decorating and stuff, but the thing is, like this would have been like easily with the 16 times speed, it could have ended up being a 1 hour speed build if I went ahead and left that in. So we will go through every single room, and you're gonna see me decorating it more precisely, but like the base of the room will suddenly appear at some point, because I abruptly like cut this part out. Yeah. Anyway, when I watched the movie this time, like as an adult, some things struck me as odd. So anyway, I want to go through that right now. So if you're a huge like Home Alone fan, either like turn off the volume or skip forward. Yeah. Anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about is the scene where Kevin hides, like he gets scared from the robbers and then like runs and hides under his parents' bed, and he has like this line where he says, I'm not a woman, I'm a man, I shouldn't be afraid. Yeah, that I don't know how I didn't notice that as a child, because I was very vocal, and whenever someone said something like sexist, I would like, I don't know, I would actually talk back at those people. Yeah, and I didn't like those comments as a child, so I don't know how that passed by me. But anyway, that was a bit odd. Yeah, and for the producers also to let a child like says that, because he's just an actor, like he has some lines and he has to like say it, and that's his job. Like the fact that he's also a child and they let him like speak like that, I don't know, it's a bit strange, and rude also, because like being scared or being afraid has nothing to do with your gender. But anyway, the other thing that was very rude was when Kevin was going through Buzz's stuff in his room, and he finds a picture of his girlfriend, and basically because she's not skinny and because she doesn't fit the beauty standards of the 90s, so he makes a comment like, yeah, woof or something. Yeah, that was also very rude, and I also don't know how that went by me watching this before. But anyway, those were the two things that annoyed me. Other than that, there are just a couple of things that I think are unrealistic. Like, for example, when like one of the robbers, the one with the beanie, when he gets hit by the paint bucket, like because he bows down and then like stands up again, because he sees the first paint bucket and the second one hits him. And the thing is, like, the second paint bucket hits him in the front of his head, and while he's being hit from the second paint bucket, he like passes by the first one with his head, so he basically got hit on his head twice at the same time. And yeah, anyway, for some reason he can walk fine after that. He didn't get a concussion, he didn't get any injuries, and was totally fit and healthy after that. So that was a bit strange. Yeah, mainly unrealistic. And about the paint buckets, this brings me to my next point. Like, when I was actually doing this house, I noticed that most of the walls have wallpaper on them. So why the hell does the family has a lot of paint. Like, why do they have lots of paint buckets when they actually use wallpapers in their house? Yeah. Anyway, that also brings me to the next point, like the wallpapers and stuff. Like, their house is extremely like Christmassy decorated, so to speak. And this just doesn't make sense because they went overboard with that. Like, it's not only like the bed sheets and like those stuff. I mean, the furniture, the carpets, the curtains, the wallpaper, they are all Christmas themed. They are all red and green, and this doesn't make sense because Christmas comes once a year. So are they celebrating Christmas the entire year? Like, this doesn't make sense. And I mean, I don't think anyone would furnish their house like that, especially in the 90s. Yeah, anyway, it was just a bit strange for me. So another thing that I thought was unrealistic, like, it's also including like the injuries. It's the adhesive glue that Kevin uses, applies where it applies on the stairs leading down to the basement. Yeah, so this glue, like, from the looks of it, it's the same one that actually gets used on construction sites and stuff, and you basically have to be wearing a mask and gloves while using it because it's very toxic. And the thing is, like, the one of the robbers, the tall one, when he was going up the stairs, like, he gets hurt. Like, he firstly because yeah, there was a nail sticking out, like, also another trap that Kevin was plotting. So yeah, then the nail basically got into his foot, and yeah, so he got injured because of that, and that leaves him with an opening in his foot, and then he walks back up. Like, he continues walking up the stairs. So basically, like, this glue, the very toxic glue, definitely went into his bloodstream, and he seems to be fine also after that. Yeah, another thing that's very odd. And I mean, this glue is also very hard to get out. Like, I don't know why the hell did Kevin do it, like, use it on the stairs and stuff. Yeah, which also makes me think, like Kevin called the police, like, in the end of the video. So why the hell wouldn't he call the police from the start? Like, why would he do all those traps? Like, he could have just called the police from very early on. But I mean, I don't know. The only explanation is that he wanted to have fun, and I mean, that's also very wrong, because if his idea of having fun is hurting other people, then he definitely has to see, like, a therapist or something, because that's quite wrong. Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm overthinking this. Yeah, so yeah, speaking of the costs of the house, yeah, in the end it came around like 346,900 simoleons. So it was down to the point like like exactly 346,900 simoleons. Yeah, but that is like discluding the lot value. Like that's how much that got spent on building and furnishing the house. Yeah, but anyway, because I moved in the family to like put up the decorations afterwards, and like in order to use the Zoom mod, you have to use it in live mode, not in build mode. So I had to go through like live mode and build mode like every now and then. Like I had to do it like back and forth. So yeah, I mean, every time you go to live mode, the furniture gets flagged as like used furniture, so there's like a depreciation value. Yeah, and that depreciation value was about 50,000 simoleons, which was also a lot. I didn't know why the hell would the furniture cost, or the whole house would cost like 50,000 simoleons less if you like live in the house for a couple of seconds. But anyway, that's how the game works. Yeah, which sounds about right, because whenever you try to build like $1 million mansion or something in The Sims 4, it ends up being costing around like from 300 to 400,000 simoleons. Yeah. Anyways, but I'm thinking like the real house cost over $1 million just because of the location of the house, because it's in Chicago and it's in a very nice suburban area that isn't far enough from the city. Yeah, that's like you basically pay for the location and not the house. Although the house is quite large, but it's old, and the older the house gets, the the cheaper it gets. Like basically, like how real estate works is that the locations, like the prices of them get higher, and then that's how you make your profit. But with time, the like if the location, like if the location stayed the same, if there was no changes, because I don't know, the price can go up or down. So if there were no changes, so yeah, you're gonna be losing money, because the longer the house sits, the cheaper it gets. Yeah, anyway. So we're in Buzz's room now, and yeah, I have another comment also, because the shelves, as you can see, in the movie, they held up a lot of stuff, so they can hold up a lot of weight. So I did not understand how they would break from Kevin climbing it, because he is a small child, and if they can hold this much stuff, like why would they break when he climbs? But anyway, I think it's just for some dramatic effects and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm now working on the parents' bedroom. Yeah. Now each one of the parents, they have their own room, and by that I mean like Peter has his office downstairs. It never gets shown in the movie, and in the listing of the house, like the house got listed before, and yeah, while I was making research, I also searched that one. The room that's off the dining room, it's supposed, like in the listing it was a living room, but I mean I used it as an office for Peter. And yeah, anyway, like the real house right now, it has normal gray walls, no, I don't know, no vibrant colors, no green and red and Christmas themed house. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, throughout the house in the movie, there were a lot of like sewing stuff. So I thought like maybe Kate sewed, like she enjoyed sewing and stuff. Because like I don't know, in the movie it's supposed to like portray the perfect 70s family, and if you're gonna think like in that way, then yeah, the wife should like be I don't know, a very good housewife who can sew and stuff. Like that's one of her capabilities, which is like another thing that also bugs me. And yeah, but anyway, it's like this perfect family picture they're putting out there. But anyway, I thought because Peter is getting his own office, like his own space, then it's only fair for Kate to get her own space. So there's a whole room decorated for sewing for her. Although in The Sims you can knit, you can't sew. So I used a bunch of knitting objects, like objects from Nifty Knitting, but you can pretend it's for sewing. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, speaking of like the perfect family and stuff, like because in this movie was filmed in the 90s, and yeah, they still had like I don't know, the thoughts or the perspective of how to portray like how the perfect family should be portrayed, and they were basically the same as like the 70s. Yeah, like for example, as I said, with like the sewing and stuff. So yeah, now that I'm thinking of it, like we're in 2020, and how does a perfect family look like right now, or how does a perfect family get portrayed nowadays? Yeah, it's, I don't know, like it's because I don't think there is a perfect family. Like there are families that are close to perfect, but actually like nothing is perfect. Yeah, I'm overthinking this again, but anyway. Yeah, so basically like this room, like it's Jeff's and Kevin's room, and it gets showed like only once in the movie and from very bad angle. So you can only see a bunk bed, and you can only see that there was light wood. Like yeah, the color of the wood, it's light wood, that was used throughout this room. And like the wallpaper had like a white and like it was white and had like gray dots on it. So yeah, that's why I went for this style of the house, of the room. But yeah, it was very hard to recreate too, because it almost never gets shown in the movie. Yeah, and Megan and Lainey's room, it never got shown in the movie too, so I just did that from my own imagination of how it would look like. Yeah, and basically because there was only one room in Buzz's room, so that leaves like Megan and Linny, and yeah, Kevin and Jeff. And in Jeff's room there was a bunk bed, so I assumed that Kevin shared the room with him. So that leaves Megan and Linny, so I assumed they were also sharing a room together. But you can change either the office downstairs or the sewing room upstairs, like Kate's office or Kate's place. You can change one of them to being an extra bedroom, like for Megan, because she is quite older than Linny, and I'm guessing she deserves her own place, especially that Buzz has his own room, and yeah, like Megan is even older than him, so if he gets his own room, then it's only fair for her to get her own room. So you can change one of the rooms, like one of the offices, to her room. Yeah, anyway, you're seeing now working on the sewing room. That is basically some stuff from Nifty Knitting. And you're gonna see me throughout the whole, like the curtains. I used like those sheer curtains that came with Island Living, because they, like in the house, like in the real house in the movie, there were like sheer curtains all over the place. Like yeah, which is also very common in the 90s, because my family, like they moved houses in the 90s, and yeah, and we basically had like, we still have like sheer curtains everywhere, like on every window. I don't know, I think in more modern builds you have those modern blinds, so to speak. Anyway, we're basically coming to the end of the video right now. The screenshots are coming right up after a couple of seconds, so this seems like a good point to actually end the video and the voiceover, and wish you all happy holidays, whether you're spending it with your family or not this year. Yeah, and I want to wish you all to stay happy, stay healthy, and safe. So happy holidays again, and bye.